Let's start 505 million years ago, in the middle of the Cambrian period, a time when life was experimenting with body plans like a kid with unlimited Lego pieces and zero instructions. Meet Opabinia regalis. This thing was only about as long as your finger, but it packed more weirdness per centimeter than anything alive today. 5 eyes, on stalks, arranged around its head like a biological security camera system. A flexible trunk extending from its face, ending in a claw with 5 spines pointing inward. Oh, and its mouth? Facing backward, under its head. So it had to use that trunk claw to grab food and pass it back to its mouth like some kind of organic conveyor belt. When paleontologist Harry Whittington presented his reconstruction in 1975, the audience of scientists laughed. They thought it was too ridiculous to be real. But the fossils don't lie. Opabinia was real, and it was just the beginning. If Opabinia made scientists laugh, Hallucigenia made them question reality itself. This tiny Cambrian creature, barely longer than a paperclip, was so confusing that scientists assembled it completely wrong. For decades, they thought it walked on rigid spines with tentacles waving on its back. Turns out, they had it upside down and backwards. The spines were actually defensive structures on its back. The tentacles were its legs, 7 pairs of them, each ending in claws. And that dark blob they thought was its head? Just a stain from decayed gut contents. The real head had simple eyes and a circular mouth lined with needle-like teeth that worked like a ratchet. Food goes in, nothing comes out. Hallucigenia sparsa. So alien that we literally couldn't tell which end was which. But here's where it gets really weird. Some prehistoric creatures are so bizarre that even after 70 years of study, scientists still can't agree on what they are. Meet Tully monstrum gregarium, the Tully monster. Found in Illinois, about a foot long, lived 300 million years ago, eyes on stalks. A long, noodly proboscis ending in a claw-tipped jaw full of razor-sharp teeth. In 2016, major studies declared it was a vertebrate, possibly related to lampreys. In 2023, a team using 3D laser scanning said the vertebrate hypothesis is untenable. Nobody knows. The Tully monster is so weird that it breaks our classification system. It's the biological equivalent of a file that won't open. And we're just getting started. Now rewind to the Permian period. 290 million years ago. Imagine you're a paleontologist. You find a fossil. It's a perfect spiral of teeth, dozens of them, arranged like a circular saw blade. For over 100 years, scientists had no idea where this thing belonged on the animal. The nose? The tail? The back? Was it a defensive weapon? A lure? Finally, CT scanning of well-preserved specimens solved the mystery. It was a jaw, the lower jaw. Helicoprion was a cartilaginous fish, related to modern ratfish, that grew between 16 and 40 feet long. As it grew, new teeth formed at the back of the whorl and pushed forward in a spiral. The old teeth never fell out, they just kept spiraling inward. When it closed its mouth, the whorl acted like a conveyor belt of serrated blades, slicing through soft-bodied prey like squid and dragging them toward the throat. A living buzzsaw, swimming through ancient oceans for 20 million years. But if you want a true prehistoric nightmare, let me introduce you to Unclassifiable. This armored fish lived 380 million years ago, during the Devonian period, the age of fishes. Modern estimates put it at 11 to 13 feet long. Not massive by prehistoric standards, but here's the thing, it didn't need to be huge. Unclassifiable didn't have teeth. It had self-sharpening bony plates that acted like guillotine blades. Bite force? 11,000 pounds per square inch, enough to crush steel. And it could open its jaws in 20 milliseconds, creating a suction effect that pulled prey into its mouth before they could react. It hunted other armored fish, sharks, even other Unclassifiable. Fossil evidence shows they were cannibals. The Devonian ocean was a nightmare, and Unclassifiable was the thing nightmares were afraid of. Now let's leave the ocean and step onto land. The Carboniferous period, 320 million years ago. Oxygen levels at 35%, way higher than today's 21%. And in the swampy forests, something massive was crawling. Arthropleura, the largest land invertebrate to ever exist. 8.5 feet long, 110 pounds. A millipede the size of a car. For decades, scientists assumed it got so big because of the high oxygen levels. More oxygen, bigger bugs, right? Wrong. Recent research shows Arthropleura reached its maximum size before oxygen levels peaked. The real reason? No competition. It was a heavily armored herbivore living in a world with almost no large predators. It didn't need to stay small, so it didn't. Until the early Permian, when larger reptiles evolved and the forests collapsed. Then, it went extinct. Before we wrap up, here are 3 more creatures that deserve a shout out for sheer weirdness. Spinosaurus, the first dinosaur proven to swim. It had a paddle-shaped tail that generated thrust like a crocodile, a 50-foot carnivore that hunted in the water. Yi-Chi, a pigeon-sized dinosaur with bat wings. Not feathered wings, membrane wings, stretched between its fingers and a unique wrist bone found in no other dinosaur. An evolutionary experiment that went extinct. Tanystropheus, a marine reptile whose neck was longer than its body and tail combined. 3 meters of neck, only 13 vertebrae. Used it like a fishing rod to ambush prey while keeping its body hidden.